guys, T2RX6 here, back for another third-party review, and today we're taking a look at the TW-T05, I believe, Shinebug. If you are not familiar with it, obviously by the colors it's gold, and Shinebug is very similar to Goldbug, so pretty sure it's Goldbug. Anyway, he is a Mini Cooper. I'm not sure exactly which model, but yeah, he looks pretty great. He really nails the aesthetic. My only real kind of concern, and I don't know if you can see it in the video, can you see all those like swirls in the plastic and stuff like this? Really scares me that like years from now, there's my weak spots when this starts aging a little. I don't know. It's to be determined if that's ever been solved, but that definitely makes me worry on this guy. Fortunately, he's not terribly necessary where it comes to the combined mode. He's pretty much a backpack. Yeah, but he's a cool little Mini Cooper. He does roll pretty good. The tires do get a little bound up once in a while, but usually it's just kind of adjust the way they're rotated on there, and it's fine. In terms of how he scales with things, here's your Masterpiece side swipe. I actually, again, I haven't really seen a Mini Cooper next to a Lamborghini. I don't know if that's exactly how it's scaled, but it feels mostly okay. It actually feels a lot better than, say, Bumblebee does next to the Lamborghini, I guess where my aesthetics and sensibilities are concerned. For one more reference, just because he's lying around, here he is next to the DX9 Carry. So I think that looks pretty good. I really don't have any complaints about that. Also worth mentioning before we go on to his robot mode, I do love how they store the gun here as the tailpipes for this car. Very, very clean, very nice looking solution to storing the weapon here. I do wish they all integrated somewhat better, but very nice. So let's work on getting Shinebug here to his alternate mode, or his robot mode I should say. We'll start by taking off the gun, and you kind of split the car a little and pop this piece up and out of the way. The next thing that I like to do is get in here, which can be hard to do with no nails, and pop this part completely up and out of the way. This is going to give you the room to work with these doors here, which I find to be probably one of the most difficult parts of this transformation. Because you have to kind of grip it in a way and unpeg it from the side right here, and half the time this window just flies off. It's really, really poorly pegged in. So while we have that, let's flip it down. Let's do the other side here. There we go. We've got that like this. So now we'll pull out the legs, and the legs are not like a straight pull out. It's actually on a swiveling piece down here. So pull that out just like so. And we can flip up the foot like this, and to add extra support you can drop the front bumper down a little to flatten the foot. We also have a heel spur that can flip out just like that, and we're good there. So now we'll come to this door, rotate it off its hinge here, slide it on down like this, and continue to move that hinge over to the other side, and then this should, and you might need to move the heel spur out of the way, kind of fit that swivel here right into this piece here, and you can fix the heel spur there. So we got that leg done. You can do what you want with the knee pad if you like it more dynamically out, or if you want it flat. I personally like it just a little sloped out, just for a little bit of depth to the character. So we'll go ahead and do that again. Rotate that knee forward, rotate the foot, bring the little piece down, get the heel spur started to come out, rotate this. And now this particular one on mine, and I'm sure it's going to be different for every one of them, you can see the pin is, maybe you can't see, it might be hard to see, it's all roughed up, so he does have a problem when you get there that it gets a little more difficult to move, so you just have to kind of put your finger on the blue piece and the gold piece and kind of force it past there. Hopefully in time it kind of wears itself down a little and it's not a problem, but whatever. So go ahead, continue bringing the blue piece over, and collapse this down and closed just like so, and we'll just fix the heel spur. So there we go. We've got his feet here, and that's all set up. Now we'll get to the top, and the top is definitely the harder part here. So let's move this out of the way again. Actually, let's go ahead and kind of work on this a little. Bring this piece up like so, just for now. And so we don't forget it, we'll flip out this little blue piece here and just leave it forward for now. So this will always keep collapsing back in. We're going to take these side pieces and we just kind of disconnect the hands like so from here. Just like that. And now this is where things really kind of get in the way. So we're going to disconnect these side car pieces and flip them up and out here. And you can see they're on a ball joint here. And we have to get them past this arm. So we're going to take this and we're going to rotate these arms up and out of the way like this. Take this piece, drop it on down like so. At this point we also should rotate the, I'm sorry, we don't rotate the feet the other way. I always forget if we rotate the feet the other way. We do not. So leave them facing forward there. So now, no, we do. We don't rotate the feet. We rotate the waist piece. There we go. Now it's all making sense to me. I was wondering why it didn't look quite right. Anyway, my apologies. So yeah, this will be in the front, and we now have these arms out of the way. You can take these and once again rotate them back out of the way here, like this. Just kind of get them angled down like this, and they're on this weird jointed system that it allows it to rotate here and at the ball joint. So you kind of want to have them rotated so the ball joint's making an L shape downwards there to give you the most movement out of these things. So once you have that, you can flip this open, and on mine these little posts were mangled. I actually had to get that replaced from BBTS before I could actually really do the review because the trunk just popped off every single time. But you can see that hides the head. So we'll go ahead and you can kind of let this thing go on in now. And for these pieces, you just kind of put them somewhere back here that doesn't really bother you too much. There's no real specific way that these are supposed to go. I tend to do it like this because it holds this back piece together, which doesn't really clip in any good way. And that makes me content. So we'll go ahead and work on the arms. We'll go ahead and bring the shoulders on down, swivel the blue piece, and then fold it on out there. That's going to end up being his forearm. We're going to take his fist, rotate it on out, and then rotate this assembly up to close the forearm there, which I wish it pegged together a little bit better. There's a nice gap there. Come over here and you take the wheel, and there's a little peg down here. Just bring it all the way to the other side here like this, and fold that on in to complete the forearm. So you see, we've got this going on just like so. And come the other side here, flip that around, flip this out, flip the fist out, rotate, rotate, and in the process turn the wheel, bring it on in, and so we got his arms. So he's pretty much done. We just have to work with the chest at this point. So this is all going to fold up like this, and this piece down here should end up being fit into this little spot down here, almost by his crotch. And now, before we finish this, we're going to take these pieces, unplug them, which do scare me. They're little teeny tiny tabs, and you can see they're on little sliders, so you want to slide them in on each other just to kind of bring this together and give a little more depth to the chest. And then this blue piece is going to lock just like that, and everything should kind of collapse right on in just like that. And we have Goldbug in his robot mode. Now, it's interesting. Okay, so again, we have these forearms that do not like to close here completely. And I can't exactly figure out exactly what's holding it up. It just kind of pops open. There has to be something somewhere in the way that is preventing these from closing all the way for me. But regardless, I wanted to show you guys how it is right out of the box. I don't really see anything that would be holding it up, but something is definitely doing it. It might be plastic tolerances that need to be trimmed. The other interesting thing is he's got one open hand and one like very classic style closed hand. I don't know the decision, but whatever. He holds his gun, and that's all I really care about. In terms of articulation on this guy, it's pretty fantastic. The head's on a ball joint, the shoulder's on a ball joint. You do have the elbow, which gets 90 degrees. If you do need more, you can cheat with that up there. No swivel on the wrist. You do have a waist swivel down here, which does look a little bit odd when you get a little bit too much, but it's okay. Thigh is on a ball. Actually, no, it's on a hinge swivel joint there. You do have a mushroom peg type joint on the thigh, a good knee that gets plenty of motion, and then a little bit of tilt out of the foot here, which is a nice little added bonus feature. I suppose you get toe articulation too based on how this all works. But what it ends up making is a incredibly dynamic looking character, especially with all his light piping. He's really quite good looking. So let's get him in here with some of his some other size comparisons. Once again, here is that Masterpiece Bumblebee. So you can see when I say I really feel like they're intended for classics, but I guess they could fit in on your Masterpiece shelf. It depends on if you're okay with this Bumblebee being, you know, the Bumblebee on your shelf. If that's the right size to you, then that's probably okay too, you know, or maybe it's a little too big to you even. Here is like a Masterpiece, like a regular sized robot, just for comparison there. So yeah, it's really up to you. I think this scale actually looks better than this to me, but that is just me. So let's get Shinebug back to his vehicle mode and let's get out of here and take the gun off, of course. We'll start with the top here, bring this all out, and let's just undo this, bring it around. Fold these open, try to peg this all back together without messing up those little pegs there. Bring this around here, and there we go. We got the hood and the front part of the roof. We'll come back to this back piece here. Fold his arms like this, because that's what we need to do, so get out of the way. Get these down and out of the way and bring this around. This will let us take the head assembly and fold it all the way in like this. We can now close the trunk. With this out of the way, we can fold that bumper up. With this out of the way, we can now take these, fold them around and up, and we'll have to mess with them a bit to make sure that we have the L in the right position, but I do believe that it is how it needs to be. I could be wrong, we'll see once we get there. Take these hands, fold this out, fold the tire all the way around to the other side of this blue piece here. Now fold it all the way out to make the wheel well. Take the hand, fold it down, fold the fist in, take this, and this always kind of confuses me. There we go. This folds in on itself and this folds down. You can see we've got the front part of the car here. So we'll do that again on this side just so you guys can see it better. And of course you need it so you can transform. So take it, fold this around all the way. Take this piece, fold it down. Take the hand, fold it in. Find the way which this thing is curved towards. Fold it in and then fold it over on itself. Just like this. And you should have that. You can now rotate this whole piece around. So you have the outside of the car facing the inside of the armpit. And from here, all this will go ahead and fold in. But before we do that, we'll go ahead and fold the, or rotate the front of the car around. So take this should all fold in just like this, making the side door. There we go. Or well, I guess it's the rear door here. And now this can carefully, hopefully, without popping off, because it does love to pop off, Hopefully we can get this in the right position that'll clear everything and peg in. So it may take a little bit of fiddling to make sure that the L-shaped piece is in the right position and that it clears the pieces of the car. But once you have it there, come on, there we go. It'll clear and you can peg all this stuff in the back together. So the back is pretty much done, which takes us to the front here, which is drastically easier to work with than the back. So we'll take this, I'll fold the little heel spurs up, good place to start. Take this door, fold it down, slide it, fold it around, and just leave it like that for now. Fold the toe up if you didn't already, and fold that down. And come around, we'll do it to the other side here. So open the door, slide it past the rough part on this side, fold it around, leave the mirror open or the window open, fold this down just like that, and we can go ahead and peg all this together just like so. So we have that. Now we're going to take these knees, rotate them on in like this, and you can see the whole car should pretty much come together at this point. So now that we have that, I like to go ahead and do the rest of the car first before the doors. I just find it easier to do it that way. So make sure that all this is centered properly, and this should be able to come down and peg into the front just like this, and it should be under the windshield. Bring this down and peg it down like this. And now I take this and I fold this up because I can see where it pegs in, and I peg it in and I kind of pull on the front a little so it misses that stuff, and kind of massage the back so the window falls in place. I find if I do it earlier, this window tends to fall down and it makes it real hard to get the rest of this stuff in place. So anyway, we'll do that again, bring this in place, kind of move things out of the way with a little bit of manipulation, and there we go. There is our gold bug back in vehicle mode. We just take his gun, put it in here, and there we go. That slides right in place. So that's Goldbug. He's pretty awesome. I did not expect to like him at all. I was a little disappointed when I got him out of the box because I heard such great things of him and I didn't think he was so great, but really the more I mess with him, the more I like him. Which is oddly the same thing I can say about this. So join me here again next week while we make an attempt to make this thing transform without popping too many things off.